Clayhanger by Arnold Bennett, narrated by William Martinez.
Clayhanger by Arnold Bennett, Volume 1, Chapter 1. 1. His Vacation. The Last of a Schoolboy. Edwin Clayhanger stood on the steep-sloping, red-bricked canal bridge in the valley between Bursley and its suburb Hillport. In that neighbourhood, the Knype and Mersey Canal formed the western boundary of the industrialism of the Five Towns. To the east rose pitheads, chimneys, and kilns, tier after tier, dim in their own mists. To the west, Hillport fields, grimed but possessing authentic hedgerows and winding paths, mounted broadly up to the sharp ridge on which stood Hillport Church, a landmark. Beyond the ridge, and partly protected by it from the driving smoke of the Five Towns, lay the fine and ancient Tory borough of Oldcastle, from whose historic middle school Edwin Clayhanger was now walking home. The fine and ancient Tory borough provided education for the whole of the Five Towns, but the relentless ignorance of its prejudices had blighted the district. 100 years earlier, the canal had only been obtained after a vicious parliamentary fight between industry and the fine and ancient borough, which saw in canals a menace to its importance as a centre of traffic. 50 years earlier, the fine and ancient borough had succeeded in forcing the greatest railway line in England to run through unpopulated country 5 miles off, instead of through the Five Towns, because it loathed the mere conception of a railway. And now, people are inquiring why the Five Towns, with a railway system special to itself, is characterized by a perhaps excessive provincialism. These interesting details have everything to do with the history of Edwin Clayhanger, as they have everything to do with the history of each of the 200,000 souls in the Five Towns. Oldcastle guessed not the vast influences of its sublime stupidity. It was a breezy Friday in July 1872. The canal, which ran north and south, reflected a blue and white sky. Towards the bridge from the north came a long, narrow canal boat roofed with tarpaulin, and towards the bridge from the south came a similar craft sluggishly creeping. The towing path was a morass of sticky brown mud, for, in the way of rain, that year was breaking the records of a century and a half. 30 yards in front of each boat, an unhappy skeleton of a horse floundered its best in the quagmire. The honest endeavour of one of the animals received a frequent tonic from a bare-legged girl of 7, who heartily curled a whip about its crooked, large-jointed legs. The ragged and filthy child danced in the rich mud.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?